Welcome to the Simple Ayurveda podcast. I'm Angela Prager, and this is a place where we discuss how ancient wisdom can be applied to your everyday life so that you can be your happiest, healthiest self. Thank you for tuning into episode 134. Today's guest, Martha, is an Ayurvedic practitioner, a master herbalist, an Ayurvedic chef. She is so full of Ayurvedic wisdom as she's been studying and practicing for a very long time, and she shares with us all of her beautiful knowledge and wisdom. She is the founder of Surya Spa, which is located in Santa Monica, California, and is totally on my bucket list of places that I would love to visit. I keep an Ayurveda dream list running tally. And so, without further ado, let's just jump right into this amazing conversation. Hello, and welcome to the Simple Ayurveda podcast. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
I'm so excited to talk with you also. I think I thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this with you. I'm so excited to be able to share anything I can about Ayurveda to help people, because Ayurveda have changed my life. And through the 30 years of practice that I've done, Ayurveda have helped so many people. So thank you so much for inviting me to do this podcast with you.
Oh, I'm so excited to get a little piece of your wisdom today. I guess we'll start out. Can you share a little bit about you and what it is that lights you up?
About myself. Okay, so I'm Martha Sofer, and I study Ayurveda at the Maharishi School and I graduated in 1992. Then after I finished then I came to Los Angeles to work at one of the clinics at the Maharishi Ayurveda. Then after that, I met my husband, got married, and then worked for the clinic until I was pregnant with my first kid. And then after that, I went to the American University of Complementary Medicine and studied Ayurveda again. And then I'm really enjoying study at the Kerala Ayurveda in San Jose with Dr. J, which is an amazing doctor. And I would love to make everyone know that is an amazing school if you want to learn Ayurveda, because the way he teaches Ayurveda is an amazing way. Through all my time of the 30 years that I've been doing this, I was very lucky to work with many Vajas. Like Med Triguna, which is an amazing Vaja. I don't know if you had an opportunity to meet him, but he was an incredible person, taking the polls and giving any herbs or any advice to anybody. And I've learned so much from him. And then I had other Vajas like Dr. Monahar, Dr. Raju, both of them, they are brothers and they both do Ayurveda in India. Dr. Moss that practice Ayurveda in a totally different way than anybody other doctor I've met. So having the opportunity of being able to do this have incredible enriched my life and how learning Ayurveda from these people. So I feel very lucky that I have that opportunity in my life. And now that I am opening for the first time in a way that I have a public audience that is going to be able to reach Surya, which Surya is the name of the spa, the Ayurvedic spa that I'm about to open at proper in Santa Monica and 7. So I'm really looking forward to be able to open the door and we are going to make all the oils specifically we have a bar. We're going to make the Ayurvedic oils for specific ailments that people can have. And then, so there will be all the herbs. And so it's a very individualized way of helping people through Ayurveda.
I love that. And I love what cutting edge of like bringing the best of everything that you've learned through all of these Ayurveda doctors and their lineage, and then putting a unique spin, I feel like in an American way, to have an oil bar in a place in California to make it like fun to come in and have a consultation.
Yeah, I think it would be just, I don't know. We'll see if it works. I think it's going to work out. And then just unless you have a specific, very more, I would say, of a chronic disease, then it will be a different way. So it will, because normally one of the things that I do, that Surya does, because now it's not only I, so many other people. So to be able to create that a specific oil for a specific problem or illness or uncomfortable situation that you are in during your life. So be able to have the power and the knowledge of the herbs there in your hand to be able to put it every day when you do Abhyanga every day. So I think that is going to be an amazing thing that people can also learn, that doing this, what we're going to do is, you know about Ayurveda. So doing Abhyanga every day, how much it just makes your immune system so stronger.
Yeah. And I believe you studied Jyotish pretty extensively as well, correct?
I did. I love Jyotish. Jyotish was one of the things on one of the classes that I love. I haven't studied extensively. I just love, and I did have different ways of doing astrology. Lately, I've been studying with a shaman in Colombia, actually, but she studied shamanism from Mexico, from the Nahuales, from the Mayas, and I've been studying extensively with her pretty much every week. And so I've been learning a lot about that and compare it with the Ayurvedic. And it's just been such an incredible journey to do that, and how they see the animals and how Ayurveda see the gods. And I'm just putting all that together through astrology. And I have used a lot of astrology during the time of doing Ayurveda. We work with, I don't know if you know him, Michael Norse.
I don't think so.
He's an incredible astrologer. And so I have worked with him already for a couple of years. And I also work with Bhattar. I don't know if you know him also. He's one of the main priests from India at the Malibu temple. And through all this time, I have done ceremonies to people's houses, and I have done all the ceremonies, for example, for all my kids. I only have two, but we did like the first, when they were born, then the first time they ate food besides breast milk. So it was the first time my daughter, for example, or my son, both of them got it. That they got, like, at the 11th day after they were born, we have a ceremony to give the name. Then at 8 months, the first time they ate rice, actually is the first thing they ate besides breast milk. Then we did another ceremony. Well, the priest actually gave them the rice for the first time. And all through their lives, and through my life, and through helping people through Ayurveda, I have practiced a lot of astrology with different mantras and different ways of the vibration. Actually, that's what it is, that it helps the body. I realized that when people really work on the planet that is not being very beneficial for them at a certain point in their lives, and they start working with doing this vibrational repetition of the mantra, I've noticed that has helped them a lot, incredible, like almost, and sometimes I've seen miracles of how this moves this energy out of their body and they get better.
There's so much in here that I could ask you about, but I guess I'll start with, when you suggest that someone works with particular vibration energy of the planet, are you looking at the natal chart, or are you looking more at what's happening in the sky now?
Well, both. I think when I look at I do this with Michael also, because he has way more experience than I do. He does what he does, and Bhattar, which are you here in LA?
No, I'm in Florida, and I just started studying Jyotish with another astrologer. So I'm in the beginning. I've played with it, in my own life, and I've gotten chart readings and all of that, but I just started jumping into pulling it apart and learning more, but I'm in the very beginning of it. I love learning about it.
Yeah. So I actually do both, and just to tell you how much Jyotish have helped in my life. The first stone that I wore, it was a yellow sapphire. And literally the way the stone came to my life, the way it was like, no way, just finishing. I was still in school when I have the reading with this incredible astrologer that I remember. He told me, you're gonna meet someone that lives on the west coast, and he was born on the East Coast, and he has blue eyes, and that's my husband. And he told me this through Jyotish. And literally, when I came here to LA, I came just for vacation, and I was coming back to MIU. And when I came back, I already had the stone because her father has given it to me as a present. And that's the stone that I have wore since then every day. I don't take it out. That stone for me, it just marked my life. It did totally make a difference in everything that happened to my life after that. So just doing that and doing, and the stone that I'm talking about is the yellow sapphire, and doing the mantra, the vibrational mantra every Thursday, and bathing it with milk and cleaning it with the water and salt, and doing this, Hamas have changed my life is incredible. And another time, they recommend for me to use a coral, and then I got this beautiful mala made out of coral, and then I wore it, and it was like war just began. I was having all these conflicts, and then I called him and I said, "Look, I did this, and this is not working because I have Mars in my first house, so it's making Mars very strong." And then he said, "No. Before maybe it was not a good time to wear it, but this time in your life it will be good, because it actually will it will be doing something different. It will dissipate any problems that you will have." So then I went ahead, I was like so hesitant to buy a real coral, and I actually got it. And again, I had another incredible change in my life. So we don't really understand the power of the plants and the power of the stones, and we just take it for granted. Some people wear this ring or this other thing, but they don't really know exactly what is happening to your body. But when you really understand and experience, like the way I have, I don't know if you had any experience like I had, but it is really very humbling and very amazed. I'm so amazed of how much one little stone can change your life.
It's so beautiful. And what's really sticking out to me as you tell this story is your commitment to that one stone or that one mantra or that ritual that you do weekly. Because I know for me, it's very tempting to jump all over the place. Like one day wear one stone and the next day do this mantra, and not really commit to the practice as fully. And so to me, what I hear you sharing also is this power when we don't need like every stone or every mantra, but when we're really focused in on the one that benefits us as the individual, then there's so much potential there.
Yes, it is. It is really, really incredible. It's like, for example, with the herbs or when I have different clients, and then they come and they have this illness, and then they start going here and there and there, and they do what the acupuncture tell them, and then they go to the Western doctor, and then they go to Ayurveda, and then they go to the shaman, and they start doing this and that and that. And sometimes I tell them, just like, stay with one thing. You will see, and Ayurveda have shown me that through so many panchakarmas that I've done. It is like a magical thing that happens with number 3. So after the 3-day, normally in the first 3 days of panchakarma, or the first 3 days of many things that you start, sometimes you're going to find some bumps here and some problems here. But after the 3rd day, and especially in panchakarma, it's like so noticeable that you see an incredible change on that person. It's just sometimes during the first 3 days, it's like, oh, I have this, I have pain, they get mad, they cry, they say this doesn't work. I have, you will not imagine the things that I have, the reactions of the 3 days. And then after 3 days, it's like literally something magical happens. And then the body let go, or the person let go of the emotion too. And then you see immediately a change, or even sometimes a cure. So it is again the power of just staying with something and doing it and stay with whatever it is that you're doing for a little bit longer, that you let the body actually be able to assimilate, and then you will get the results. But if you do here and there, it's just all over the place. So I think it's important to have consistency, and then you'll see the results within, and then you'll see it in Jyotish. It's like well, there is certain times where it depends on the planet that you are or where you were born, or there's sometimes there are planets that you're going to be with for 20 years, and some they are going to be 18 years, some are 7 years, and then how these dates in your life actually changes your life, and all that's just guided by, again, the whatever the planets are in this moment, and then also when you were born, how that's going to affect your life.
So if someone comes in, for example, and they're moving into a 20-year cycle, I mean, potentially there could be a mantra that we might be invited to work with for 20 years then, right?
Yeah. Definitely, especially if it's a Saturn, which is one of the longest ones. Saturn is a very, very long one, and but again, luckily it's not like you're in Saturn all the time. As you know, you are like Saturn with Mars and Mercury for a certain time, and then Mars and Rahu, and so it's amazing to see. I have learned through the Rahu times in my life that it's just sometimes it brings so much darkness, and you go, whoa, and then it's when you see what is all the duality of life, the light and the darkness, and how if you don't have this darkness, you can actually not see the light. So being able to go through these times, and then you go, oh my God, here comes Rahu, it's going to be a hard time. But it's always, if you can see it and really try to learn what this experience and these hard moments in your life is going to teach you, so then you can continue in a better way in your life, it's amazing. So if you use Jyotish and astrology for to learn and accept these things that come into your life and grow, it's really amazing.
Yes, like the power of if knowing that there's going to be awareness brought to a certain facet, and we surrender as it comes rather than resisting it.
Rather than resisting it. And then also just waiting and actually sit back and then look, why is this happening? What is it I need to learn? What is it I need to do so it will not happen again? Because you're going to have another cycle of Rahu for sure coming in a few months. So see if you learn it. See if then the next time it just doesn't happen, you're going to have another challenge, and that's when we get to grow.
So when you work with individual clients, do you look at potentially how the chart could give you information on the type of illness that the person has, or like the way the planets might be affecting them?
Yes, I do. Sometimes I do it myself, or sometimes I call Michael and say, please help me here. What do you think? Or like, for example, if someone wants to, sometimes I actually, one of the most amazing experience I ever had with astrology was I'm going to share this case with you. We became really good friends. She really wanted to have a baby, really, really bad. And she's in her 40s, maybe she was 43, 44 when this happened. But you see her and you will never think that she was that age. So she wanted to have a baby, really, really. It was like really wanted a baby. So I said, okay, let's call Michael. Let's do your chart. We did her chart, and she said, if you have a baby, she tried everything, IVF, tried whatever you want. So if you want a baby, it has to be from the power of God, and God is going to give it to you, because it's in the chart. If you work on it and ask God for it, you will get it. Okay, so we start the work. I start doing candles. And then in this case, she needed to pray to Shiva. So I took her to the temple. We did a Shiva, whole huge ceremony of Shiva. We went to her house and we did, again, another ceremony to Shiva. Then we went, the priest actually told her, and Michael too. They both told her this moon is a Shiva moon, so you need to go in the lawn of your garden and then just lay down there and in this full moon and ask for this gift. Then she did everything. She did panchakarma. She prepared herself. She prayed. She did the mantras. She did everything. And then there was this saint, this enlightenment person that came, which he was Michael's guru. His name is Yogaraj Siddhanath. I don't know if you know him. He's amazing. So I have the opportunity to have him work on her and ask Shiva to be able to grant her a baby. Little after that, she got pregnant and she has the most beautiful baby. And this baby is really, really special. It's really, and his name is Ra, which is sun, which is Surya. And it was nothing that had to be with me that they put Surya, but that they put Ra, which is the same Surya. But this baby is, you understand, that since he was very little, he was doing yoga. And the mom will tell her, okay, go in Shavasana, go and downward dog. And he will just do it. It was an incredible, and this baby is so smart. He's about 3 years old now. And it was one of the most amazing experiences I ever had about praying and doing all the ceremonies with the milk and the Shiva and having the results of that and seeing actually this being asked for to the gods and be given to her.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love that basically one of the prescriptions there was to go lay outside under the moonlight.
On the moonlight, naked. It was like naked. I was hesitating of saying that or not, but that was the prescription. Yeah. But
well, it's like a full acceptance of nature, right? To be naked in the grass or the dirt.
Yes. And that was that night, and it was cold, and she did it. And she said that it was magical what happened to her that night. She felt this incredible energy that was, this is the things that are very difficult to talk because unless you experience it, then you don't believe it. But even though that we cannot touch them, they are there. That energy is there with all of us. And we just have to know how to tap into it.
And so it sounds like this is sort of that same kind of magic that if we're open to it, that we can use for our own personal healing.
Totally. I totally believe that, and I've seen it through doing panchakarma and through just really letting those emotions and that energy that is stuck in two different parts of your body manifesting in different ways, that you can just heal anything because our body, it's meant to be healed itself.
So what do you feel like is the first step if we don't have access to amazing astrologers that can lead us through these rituals? What can we do at home as a first step?
As a first step, I will, if you don't have, I guess today is very easy to just find in the internet one of the astrology, you just put your date when you were born at the time you were born, and then have your astrology there. And then you know what are your planets. And then from there, see what are the planets that are malefic and which ones are good. And then from that, I guess for that specifically, I will have, if I'm going to wear a stone, I will be more, if you do it through the internet, I'll be worried. But I do have a place where I've worked since 1992, that I work with them in Iowa. And then if you call them and ask them what is the stone that you guys recommend, and they have the most pure, beautiful stones in Iowa. And he's been doing this for 40, 50 years, and he knows the best stones. Then I will ask them, what are the stones that you guys recommend? And I think you can, and they will be happy to help you and sell you the right stone, because that's another thing that is very important, the purity of the stone. So you can find a glass that looks like yellow sapphire, but it's not going to have the vibration of the yellow sapphire or the blue sapphire or whatever, because it's just what people have to understand is just not just I wear this stone, this beautiful stone, or it could be a crystal, is that it has a vibration. And when it goes through the light, that shines into the stone, that vibration, that's why the stones are specifically cut in a shape under the stone so it touches your skin. And the whole reason of that is that because you want that vibration to go on you, and that influence that is going to help in your life is going to be through the vibration of light, going through your cells and your body. So it's very important to do that. So I would definitely recommend them, and I can give you all their information so people can call them if they want to find out what is the right stone for them to wear.
Okay, perfect. I'll put that in the show notes for this episode. And you brought up a really important point there too, that if we're not familiar with vibrational energy of stones, so we want the stone actually touching our skin, not like on a setting where the stone's not touching us.
Yeah, or the stone is covering the back. So if
right.
the stone has a vibration, that is not going to go through you. It's very, very important to have the light go through it, because the light has to, what is going to make the stone to be activated. Like if you put a piece of glass, a beautiful stone, and you put it in the sun, you can see how the beautiful rainbow comes out of it. So think about it kind of the same without doing a rainbow, but it's doing the same coming of the light through you. But then it goes inside your body.
So if we have like a stone necklace underneath clothes, does that still give off the vibration, or we want the sunlight to be touching the stone as well?
No, it will be the stone itself has the energy. But obviously if you have the stone, and that's why they recommend to put it in the different fingers, we have all the different fingers for all the different planets. And then, so if you wear that in there, the sun is going to come into the hands. I particularly don't wear it in my hands because I work with my hands. So all my rings get totally with the oil. When I do the treatments, they get really disgusting. And so I did not, and also not comfortable to do the treatment for a person with that. So I just use it as a necklace.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll just circle back, and I'd love to ask you about the connections that you see with what you're learning in shamanism with Jyotish and Ayurveda.
Oh, that combination is like really, that's just like amazing. It's like, I actually have the book here. And it's a book called the Book of Destiny. And this comes from the Mayas, and it's really amazing what they do. They actually make a cross. And with that cross, you have all the animals that go in and they have, which is also amazing, the way they put it is they put the animals on your 13 joints. And then so with the joints, you have all the different animals that are going to be signifying something. And I share this with you because I was thinking actually when I turned 52, I got bitten in my left toe. I got bitten by a spider. And when I was doing the cross and I was doing my animals, and the spider that bit me in that time, it was a brown recluse, and I had no idea that this just happened. And then I felt it, and I was like, oh, something bit me, it will be fine. I was actually playing tennis, and I felt it. The spider was inside my shoe. And then the second day, I have all these bubbles in my toe. And I was amazed of like, what is going on? This is more like something that I have to pay attention. So I went and got Shilajit, and I got clay, and I got turmeric, and then I tried to take out, because it was my skin starting to have necrosis, so start to just like literally fall apart and start going to all different parts of my food, under my food. And it took me a year to be able to heal this. And then when I look at my Mayan cross, little I know what I had in there, it was a spider. In my left toe is a spider, and that's what the animal belongs on that in that specific space. So that for me, and then also 52 is when there's another time where you mark your life in Mayan tradition. So you become you start the time of wisdom. And so it was amazing how that spider bite at that point and until now still teaching me so much, because I get glimpse of it every so often where I have, oh my God, start getting the redness. I'm like, oh, is it gonna come back? Because you get that fear. And then what it have always taught me, and if you think about it, the toes are the kidneys, and the kidneys energetically are fear. So it was like, what is it that I'm having fear of? And again, every time I see the red, I feel the fear. And then so is something that I need to work on. So when you start working on really looking into yourself, what is that I'm fear of, or what is that I'm afraid, and then you start working on all that, start disciplining and seeing in a totally different way. And before I was seeing a spider, and I was very afraid of them. And now I just ask them and say, like, remember your memories and remember my memories. Please help me remember my memories of things that I have to remember when I see you. And then there's some message that you have to bring me. And that's all about also how the Mayan, they work with different things with the plants and the rituals they do. They are very rich and incredible rituals that I have learned on doing for my life and my family, and being able to incorporate that with Ayurveda has been incredible. On learning, for example, the new year just was a couple of days ago, and for that we created this incredible bath, and I actually did it to two people. One of them, a client that I went to see her, and I prepared it because it was the bath for the ox. And so we made this formula, and the formula was, and I made it. The whole house was smelling amazing. It had eucalyptus, it had oranges, and the oranges was like more signifying the sun and putting the energy of the sun into the bath. And put the heat and the life force of what the sun brings to us into the bath through the orange. And it had cloves, and it had star anise, and it had rosemary. And so we make, and it had honey to bring sweetness for this year. And it was so incredible, but really incredible. One of them had like an out of body experience, and the other lady said after that bath, it was just incredible how I felt, because she just had a baby and she felt so much better just with the treatment and the bath. Finishing, what I did is I did the treatment, and we did it for just happened now, the, how you call it, Valentine's. We did it for Valentine's. So I made the bath, and then I put roses on top before she got, after we did a treatment that it was very beautiful. We gave her an abhyanga, and then after we gave her an abhyanga, I prepared, she was a little bit congested, so I did a little bit of udvartana, that is kind of like a scrub. And then after that, we did, like, I cover her with chocolate and chia butter and coconut butter. That feels like silk. And then after that, I put her in this bath with flowers, and she was saying how much better she felt after that. And then she went to sleep, and then she, again, they both have an incredible experience. And one of them, she said she went to a different space that night.
That sounds so lovely. The best kind of day.
Yeah, the best kind of day. So again, it's like, this is what it shows me over and over, the power of the plants and how much we underestimate and not value the things. So like, if you have you live in Florida, and probably, I don't know if you have trees and fruits or something like that grows in your yard, or maybe not, but it would be, that is another thing that I've been getting to. I don't know if I posted in my Instagram one of the pictures of of doing the mandalas?
Yes, actually, last year when quarantine started, my kids were 3 and 6, and we would go on neighborhood walks and pick up the fallen flowers from around the block. They are not allowed to pick from neighbors' yards, obviously, but we'd pick up all the flowers that we see and bring them back. And we made mandalas like every day in the backyard. That was our homeschool, and it was amazing.
Isn't it amazing how you feel? And so one of the things that is just doing it with the same thing with the fruit that falls in the ground, and then normally we don't do with it. If you open it and then use the skin and use like, for example, with the orange, it's so beautiful to start just a mandala in the beginning when you open the orange. And like, I did it with a caracara orange that is kind of orange and this beautiful orange red color tint that it has, and you start that in the middle as one of the mandalas. It's so beautiful.
Oh, we're definitely going to do that. That sounds lovely.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, just about mandalas. When we go to the beach, we like to gather up shells and driftwood and seaweed and make mandalas there too.
Yeah, it is something so magical about it, so meditative, and it just also when you finish and you see what it came out to it, and then how you can change it and fix it here or there, or just being the imperfection of whatever is the imperfection, is and then what happens inside is so magical, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And for me, because she's now 4, so ours are always imperfectly perfect or perfectly imperfect. So I have a tendency to want everything to be just so, and she comes around and does her own thing. So there's always a lesson there for me too, just to surrender and let it be the way it's going to be.
Yes, that's like, again, goes back to what we were talking about, Rahu, and when it comes into your life, and then it just teaches you the lesson of like, okay, so not everything has to be perfect, and I just have to learn from this so the next time is better, you know.
I love that your suggestion for, using the old fruit or anything, because I'm sure some people might be listening, hearing about this amazing experience of how you put together the bath and all of that for your client. But really, we all have the capability of doing that for ourselves in some small way, even if it's just, the old fruit from our fridge into a mandala somewhere.
Totally. It doesn't have to be the tree from your garden. It can be anything. You can just buy or whatever. If you go around walking and you see a fruit that is just not, that is there in the ground, it's going to be rotten, and you want to just sit down there and do it. So then you leave a print of that, of someone that walks by and see it, and it will bring happiness to them.
Yes, I love that. I was thinking about that too, how when we do it at the beach, we just leave it. So then anyone that walks by will see it later.
Yeah. It's just so, and then you know that you somehow touch someone's heart with that.
So if someone wanted to do like a little mini bath ritual at home, do you have any favorite simple, I don't even want to use the word recipe, but recommendations to get started?
Well, the one that because of the Chinese year just started and because it's metal, the one that I just did, it would be, you can put a handful of rosemary, a handful of cinnamon, a handful of rosemary, a handful of lavender flowers. You can put a little bit of cinnamon sticks, a little bit like a teaspoon of cinnamon sticks, like a teaspoon of cloves. If you want to clean your energy, I would put a little bit of like a handful of sage. Or a little bit of sage. It doesn't, whatever you have. It's not like you have to be so worried that it's not exactly the amount. And then eucalyptus that you can just walk. At least here in LA, you can find eucalyptus everywhere. So you can just put some leaves in there, and then you just boil this. And then you wait until the water boils, and then you add all these beautiful herbs. And obviously, sorry, it's obvious for me, but not for everyone. Every time you go, and if you like, for example, have a beautiful rosemary, you have 2 bushes here. So what I do is I actually ask permission to the plant before it, and I'm going to tell the plant what is it I'm going to use it for. And so then when you do this ritual with the plant also, is like giving and receiving. So you put all these things and then you add them and put them to, as soon as the water boils, you put them in there and then you leave them boiling like for 5 minutes. And then after that, you put it in the bath and make sure you strain it. So then it's much easier to clean the bath, because if you have all the sticks and stuff, it's just too much work. So you actually get the essence of the plants, and then you add it to your bath. And then when you're in your bath, I add a tablespoon of honey to bring sweetness. And then I would recommend to do some roses. That's easy to pick up after you do the bath. And then you just take the roses, and then you enjoy the bath. It's really magical, that bath.
Oh, that sounds lovely. And I have most of that stuff, so I might be doing that tonight.
Okay. Yeah, let me know how it went. Oh, yeah. So it would be really, really, really nice.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, this was so wonderful to hear all of these pieces being pulled together. Can you share with listeners where we can learn more about you and connect with you?
Okay, so I, like I said at the beginning, I am about to open a proper hotel on April 1st, which I'm really excited after, especially we were supposed to open a year ago. So that building has been there, not being able to use it. So now being able to use it is great. So that's on 700 Wilshire, Santa Monica in California. And you can get any of my products. We have a beautiful oil for your face, a face oil that I'm going to send you some, and the collagen cream, which is amazing for when you like how much it rejuvenates the skin. And everything I put there is all natural. And again, it's any of the face oil and the collagen are the ones, my products that I put the most work, like when I do they infuse the oils. You know how to infuse oils?
Well, you can share with us. I've done it, but I'm sure there's some tips and tricks.
So like I infuse the oils in the with, I first, whenever it rains in California, that's not very often, but when it rains, I collect the water. And when I collect the water, I actually infuse the oils with that rainwater, which it has incredible knowledge and an incredible I don't know, smell, and the way just the water looks is so amazing. So but it's going to be boiled so much that it's not going to have any problem. So I infuse the oils with that water first, what we call quata, and then we infuse the oils with that. And then after I finish with that, then I wait until when it's going to be the full moon, and from there I infuse it with the different milks. So I put like goat's milk, camel's milk, cow's milk, sheep milk, and infuse the oils with that. And then I normally try to do that in the full moon, because it's a process of many days. So I try to be a little bit before, or like to start in that day, or at least finish that day to have the oils ready. So I do that, and I put the same oil in the collagen cream. So all those products has the sun, the rain, and the moon. And then the bread. I don't know if you try our bread. Our bread is getting to it's not a bread. It's actually a gluten-free with Ayurvedic herbs bread, and it's just now is, I don't know if you know, store Air One is being sold there, but you can get it in my website. Now we found a way of sending to different states. And it's absolutely delicious. It's one of the, everybody says that there is no other vegan bread or gluten-free bread that tastes the way it is. And we have 3 different flavors. We have the apple date, banana walnut, and ginger turmeric peach. And all of them have different herbs that helps the body in the different doshas. So whatever is that you have in balance. We also have all the different oils for Vata, Pitta, Kapha. We have the spice ghee. We have the mung beans, the rice. We have all the different spices for Vata, Pitta, Kapha. We have all the different. So you guys have all these products available. So you just have to go to suryaspa.com.
Amazing. I'm excited to try the bread.
Yes. Well, what flavor would you like? And I'll send you some.
Well, I'm pizza, but my vata is usually the thing that I have to work on. So
Yes, we'll send you a vata one. We'll send you an apple day. So that would be great. Yeah. And yeah, and then I will send you some of the collagen cream and the face oil so you can try it.
yeah, it's so beautiful how much care and thought and like the wisdom that you're pouring into the stuff that you share with others. It's amazing.
It's so important for me because that's what Ayurveda is. It's the wisdom and the knowledge that is important to keep it the way it is, because even though that you can put, and I call it modern Ayurveda, and modern Ayurveda is to make it the way I say it is because I wanted to make it easy for people to understand. Because when you start going through all the different Sanskrit names that you go like, oh no, I don't understand this. But what I'm trying to make it is easier. So if you feel hot, then what is it in there in nature that is going to make you cool down? And if you feel cold, what is it I can do to warm up myself? What is in there that if I have this tea, how this is actually going to affect my body? How it's going to change that aspect of my life in that moment?
It's so beautiful. And it's really just the power of intention, which is what Ayurveda is teaching us.
Yes, totally.
Well, thank you so much. It was so lovely to talk to you and learn and connect. And thank you for coming onto the podcast today.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Om Tat Sat. Thank you for listening. I would love to stay connected. Please join the free Simple Ayurveda community newsletter for resources, including recipes, journal prompts, and other tools to help you implement Ayurveda into your modern everyday life. The sign up is at simpleayurveda.com. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.